Good morning, my dear ones. How are you today? Again, I appreciate these great comments. Drew's checking the site now for more questions because I'm going to do a real short thing here this morning, and then Kathy's going to do a video of the school, and then some question and answer type things, and then I think Drew's going to take you on a tour of our place. To show you we not have a mega operation here. But I wanted to get into some question and answers, but I want to obviously address some controversy here that I think is important. And, you know, I love you guys. You guys come in and chime in and really get your consciousness out there, and I love that, you know. This situation is about the B12 controversy, of course. And you know, most of you really get the spirituality side of life. I think that's who's going to be viewing my videos more than anybody else, because if you can't take a higher level of thinking and consciousness, you're not going to be able to view our videos and take what we have to say. And that's okay, because these souls need to spin off and go get their experiences and then come back more humbled. So it is important that we look at that, because we're locked so much into the intellectual thinking. And in biochemistry and chemistry, and I've said this before, that universally we all disagree on this. When you think that you know how things work in the body, you're educated to something a little higher. A good example was back in the 1900s. This gentleman introduced biological transmutations. The fact that obviously chemistry is constantly in a process of flux and transmutations, moving from one to another. B12 is of that nature. It's a cofactor. And cofactors are when chemistry transmutates, combines, and creates other factors. And there's so much of that we come back with our chests up and we think we know how the body works, but we don't. And there's so much of that intellectual crap out there that, and we're in a treatment-based thinking society, that this is what you see. You got to take your B12. You got to take this. You got to take that. And unfortunately, I've seen this B12 controversy for years, and it holds no water. You know, not at all. This idea that fruits and vegetables won't, in a term of a cofactor, give you B12 is ridiculous. You know, we play that same game with proteins and with amino acids and the concept of complete amino acids. In the primate families, where we are the closest, and of course the herbivore family, which are the two basically non-eating families, you do have some primates that consume meat, but very, very rarely. So what you see in both of these vertebrates is no B12 deficiencies. So when you come out and you say, well, I see B12 in meat, then you need it. That's the kind of consciousness we have out there. And of course, one comment from one of you guys was about the bacteria. You know, we get a lot of vitamins from bacteria. This is a fact. And there's so much cofactors being produced in the body, or biological transmutations of chemistry, it's not even worth you thinking about, because we just keep packing onto that, and there's always someone that disagrees with that at all levels. This is a major controversy, and I don't play those games anymore. It's not worth it. It builds ego, it builds arrogance, and this is what you see in Centron. You're very arrogant. You think you know the answers here, my friend, and you don't. You know, you sound like a very constipated individual. The kind of words you throw out there and the insult that you gave to me, you don't know what I've done in my life and how I walk in my shoes. You don't know the sacrifices I've made so these videos can be shot. You have no clue. And so it's insultive, you know, and I just let God take care of you the way it's going to, because you need to grow and get unconstipated. So as we say on our videos here, you probably should have 3 or 4 colonics. Go meet the Dalai Lama, go sit under a big banyan tree and meditate for a few years, and break the mind hold on yourself. And then you'll have compassion for other people. Yes, there are a lot of capitalists out there, there sure are. But I think most people that really know us and realize who we are realize that's far, far from the truth. The amount of help that we give for free, the amount of work we've done, the fight I've done with the state so you could have this. I could have quit years ago and said, hey, you go find your own stuff. So, you're insultive in that way. So, you go on out, and this YouTube site is for people that love each other and people that are breaking the hold of the mind. And if you don't like it, you stay off my channel, because I don't need you to insult my friends here and come back with rudeness like idiots and stuff like that. We don't need that kind of stuff here. We're growing. This world needs a much higher level of expression and understanding here. So I do appreciate you viewing it, but since I'm a capitalist, I'm going to make all these videos free to everybody but you, Sinfron. And every time you view one of my videos, I want you to send me $100. Okay? Now, I'm a capitalist, so I want you to send me $100 every time you view one of my videos. Everybody else, you got it for free, okay? So let's end that, because you just go do your thing and stay away from our friends. We're growing here on this channel, and that's how it's going to be. Now, one lady asked me a question here about thick white tongues. And a lot of people, this thing like B12, we have another thing that's candida, candida, candida. And it is true that, suddenly candida is like B12. If you have a B12 deficiency, you have everything wrong with you in the book. Autoimmune, which is bullcrap. You've got fatigue. You've got all these symptoms from B12 deficiency. Well, let's see. The average person is B12 deficiency. The average person is high fungus. I don't see how the average person even makes it in life. Do you? Epstein-Barr, a lot of people have Epstein-Barr virus. That's easy to get out. These things are easy to get out. And most of us do have a fungal load of some sort. If you crave cheeses or breads or pastas, you've got a pretty good fungal load. And if you have a lot of sulfur in the body, you're going to have a lot more of a fungal load. So, you use the herbs really to get this fungal load down, and then you fix those adrenals and stay away from this complex sugar. The white coating on the tongue, I've been in love with the natural hygienic movement for years. I mean, you look at some of these old people, they're in their 90s, they got all their teeth, and they've been eating fruits and vegetables raw for 30, 40, 50 years. And I've ran into a lot of them through the years, just healthy as a jaybird. And so the natural hygienic movement was a lot about fasting, but water fasting. And there was a clinic down here in Bonita Springs called the Shangri-La. It's the only place in the early 70s I could find any raw books. They had great charts. And unfortunately, it's kind of teetered off. Harvey Diamond kind of, I won't say plagiarized, because they came with him on this, I suppose, and created the Fit for Life, which then, this was an upswing to the natural hygienic movement, and they kind of adapted that. They came out with a PhD course I thought was killer in chemistry, biochemistry. I mean, it's a great course. I still have it here. I never did finish it, but what a great course, man. Especially in the understanding of your proteins and all the chemistry of the foods, and I really liked it. And each segment was written by a great raw foodist from the past, like Fry and Shelton, and just a great course. But it is weighing down for some reason. You can't get those nice brochures. This is a chart they used to come out with, if you can see it. And this chart shows you the different categories. This is from Canada and their group. But you don't see much like that anymore. But fasting, as soon as you fast, your body starts cleaning itself. That's the nature. And your tongue will turn different colors. White is basic, acute, maybe even subacute. But the subacute stages of toxicity are a little deeper. And so they create a yellowing on the tongue. And then you have your chronic stages where you get actually a brown coating on the tongue. A lot of inflammation. You're going to get a red split tongue.